A very good afternoon to one and all. This is Sushma to moderate the session. Thanks for taking your valuable time to make this webinar a knowledge sharing initiative useful. Today's webinar is Cloud Payroll Ready for the Prime Time. It's yet another interesting webinar from ADP, an initiative from ADP to help the HR leaders and key decision makers of organizations manage sensitive aspects of the HR process as per the business trends today. We aim at providing the maximum inputs to the audience with the latest market insights. Our presenter for the day is Mr. Shakeeb. Shakeeb Husain, Product Specialist at ADP India, has 5+ years expertise in handling and innovating on workforce management concepts on the cloud. He has versatile experience in handling clients across India, providing effective solutions for organizations on the cloud. Before starting this session, we would like to again thank each one of you to have taken your valuable time to join us. We would like to keep you informed that all of you would be put on the listen-only mode. We encourage our viewers to put forth questions that are related to today's topic and agenda. We will be pleased to answer those in the end of the session. Over to Mr. Shakeeb.
Thank you, Sushma, for your introduction. A warm welcome to one and all, and all the participants who have taken time to register for today's webinar session on HR on Cloud. My name is Shakeeb Husain. I'm one of the product specialists for ADP. From the past 6 months, we have been hearing a lot of recommendations from our viewers and attendees, and also from the crowd outside, that they would want to have some knowledge which is being shared under the cloud payroll platform. So in order to those recommendations, we plan to have this particular webinar, which is titled, "Is Cloud Payroll Ready for Prime Time?" So with that, we have a lot of things to cover, and some of those things what we would be talking about in today's discussion is, what is cloud computing? We're going to see what are all trends a lot of companies opt when they're going from 50 employees to 500 and 1,000 employees. So basically, we're going to see a lot of trends, what companies take when they grow as in numbers. We're also going to discuss, for companies who opt to use payroll on-premises model, what are all challenges they would come across on their day-to-day life, and also when it comes to the year ending as well. I'm going to show you how important it is to have a comprehensive payroll system for any company of any size or any structure. Having discussed all of these things, it is very important from our side to showcase you the functions of a cloud payroll application. So if you are a company who is thinking to switch from an on-premises or towards a cloud payroll, what are the functionalities you would like to first look at? And with that, we're going to talk about something called as query builder, which I would like to keep it as a surprise, and show you a demo of our software and end of the session. We're also going to have an exclusive Q&A round where audiences can enter their questions through the Q&A tab available above the live meeting client. You can put forth your questions which are relating to today's topic, and I will do my best to answer all of your questions in the given time frame we have. So basically, what is cloud computing? A lot of companies have, a lot of people have a lot of assumptions of cloud computing and cloud arena. I just don't want to confuse our audiences with too much of technical jargons. Basically, I've taken a simplest of information what I got from online is a technology that uses internet and central remote servers to maintain data and applications. Whenever you talk about cloud computing, the first aspect what comes to your mind is to have a superior economics. And obviously the cloud computing gives you a lot of benefits. Some of the benefit what a lot of companies have gained across the last 5 to 10 years is there is superior economics, meaning that you don't have to have a huge investment into your hardware. There is, when you have your own data servers and you have your own servers, then you probably got to employ a lot of IT staffs within your company to look at those infrastructure support items. So with the cloud platform, what enables you is to have a minimal IT support expenses. And the second thing what comes to anybody's mind when they think about cloud technology is to have protection of your data. Definitely the cloud platform allows any company the best data security available in the market, and it also supports you with the redundancy of your data. So absolutely there's going to be no loss of control. You can access your data anywhere, anytime, and all of these things happen is because the system, you don't have to maintain your system. There is absolutely free system upgradations which happen whenever there is a requirement. So this is what I wanted to show you about an introduction to cloud computing. We're going to see a lot of things coming up in our next slides where we're going to talk about a lot of challenges. We're going to talk about query builder. We're going to talk about what you have to look into when you're going towards a payroll software. What are all the aspects you would want to look at? So as mentioned in our introduction, we're going to talk about the key trends. So if you're a company between 10 to 50 employees who are who is deciding to grow in numbers every year, so probably this is the trend we find in the latest market. We have companies who started off with a paper bookkeeping, which is almost today it is gone, but in some rural areas of India we still have companies who use paper bookkeeping. Slowly, as the company grows in numbers, you would find they would move from the paper bookkeeping towards the maintaining and processing the data in Excel. Even today we have a lot of companies, even we have a lot of registrants today who have registered, and one of the questions what we have put in our registration form is, how do you process your current payroll? We have a lot of attendees who had put that they are processing the payroll in Excel. So gradually moving from Excel, a lot of companies take a turn and they prefer to buy a software or purchase a software for their company. While doing this, they have two options. One is they can purchase a software and they can use a software which basically is on-premises software model. There's also another model which is basically outsourcing your payroll data to a third-party company like ADP or any other company who does the processing of payroll. Gradually, as the company grows in number and also depending need, a lot of companies today they are opting for cloud-based solutions when it comes to processing of their payroll. So basically there is the outsourcing concept, which I don't want to get inside today because that is one of the services of ADP where we do also process payroll for a lot of companies. So we will have a separate session when we explore on those areas in next coming months. So basically, we talked about the Excel, we talked about the on-premises. So basically, what is the challenges a lot of companies go through when they are going for an on-premises model? So there are a lot of challenges. Some of the challenges what I feel important to discuss is first thing is lack of payroll expertise. The company from whom you're getting a payroll software and you're installing the software in your computer, you'll have to check whether the software, the company who has made the software, does they have proper domain expertise in making a perfect software for your company. A lot of companies feel that when they go for an on-premises software, there are a lot of legal laws which keeps changing year on year. So when you go for an on-premises, it becomes very difficult to upgrade your current application or your current hardware, and there's a lot of cost involved. There's an annual maintenance cost, which a lot of companies, feel it's a huge burden for the finance team to go ahead. Then think about, if you're a company who have a multi-location presence, and you have multiple HR spots available at each location in India. So consolidating the data from each location and processing the payroll on an on-premises, it's truly a very difficult thing to consider. And last, there's also, when you go for an on-premises model, the time involved in having the payroll open for you, it takes a long time. Because on the other hand, if you look at the on-cloud payroll applications available, these applications are just like plug in and plug out. You just have to give the data, and the payroll is done in just a matter of a day or so, and you would be able to go on live with your payroll application on a cloud platform. But if you go for an on-premises, it involves a lot of time. And if there is any technical support which you need from your end, you'll have to depend on the provider. So it takes a long uptime to have that technical support being resolved for your company. So one of the aspects what we wanted to highlight is on the data security part and the confidentiality part. Obviously, the on-premises, it requires a laptop, it requires a computer, and the payroll data, which is the most secret information of your company, is being stored under a hard drive or a hard disk, and this can get collapsed anytime, and eventually you would lose the data. So if you have a software which is you have and you have processed the payroll for more than 5-6 years with that software, and one fine day the data is lost, so there is no backup. So these are all some of the challenges, some of the very critical challenges I would feel. The last aspect is having customizable reports. When we look at payroll is all about reports. If you have an on-premises software, the application might just give you 10-15 type of reports, and any reports you would want in advance, you would basically have to reach out to the provider. The provider would again charge you with multiple charges for having the customization done. So in today's environment, if you see a lot of MIS report which is relating to payroll, a lot of the senior management decisions which is happening in terms of budgeting your finance, budgeting your new employees, and doing salary divisions, all of these data is being taken from payroll. And if you're not getting the exact report in the exact format and the procedure what you need, then you're going to take a long time getting these reports out of your current payroll system. We all believe payroll is one of the most critical processes in a company of any size. Its importance does not vary from company of 5 employees or 500. It needs to be right for the first time and every time you process your payroll. Those who work in payroll are generally pulled out a lot of directions. So generally a payroll guy would be used for a lot of aspects, not only to do payroll, but he would be utilized for other needs. It's going to be a hectic life for the payroll person. That being said, payroll people need a system which is intuitive, which is efficient, and has the proper checks and balances built in to the application, which will alleviate an unnecessary stressor. So I'd want to ask this question: would you want to have your system being built as the most efficient as possible? Talking about efficiency can mean a lot of things. It could also mean time, it could mean effort required, it could mean cost as well. So today's presentation, what I'm going to walk you through on the next slides, will give you a question of each of the aspect and find out if these answers necessarily mean you need to have a cloud payroll system. First of those, I wanted to ask you, how much time are you really spending on payroll? Do you have a system that auto updates new employees, pulls employees' time from time clocks, reduces data entry, and lets you see who's getting close to overtime and who's not? Having a system that allows you to do all of this makes your job easier and less stressful. Entering the same data in 3 different times, the software isn't integrated with itself may not seem like a huge deal, but imagine if you're hitting a button and you get your employees in time and out time in just no minutes. So basically, when we talk about the cloud payroll, it talks about the integration of your time and leaves. It talks about integration of your payroll to your attendant devices. So when you have an integrated system which is available on the cloud platform, the time to process your payroll is much lesser when you do it in Excel or through an on-premises software. Now, second aspect, what I wanted to highlight you, how much is running payroll costing you? Do you have an employee that is dedicated doing the payroll every month? Imagine cost you're paying to the repetitive task that you could have just done in half of the time. The third part I wanted to highlight here is how much effort does running payroll take? Think about the year-end activities. We have today companies who have registered for 1 employee and also 500 to 2000 employee strength. So think about the year-end process. A lot of companies, when you see the year-end process, it is the difficult time the finance the finance and the HR and the payroll team goes through. When you have an efficient system where clicking just few buttons reduces your full end-to-end process and a year-end process, and you get the absolute reports in no time. Another highlight of the cloud platform is the ability of your employees declaring their online investment through employee self-service. This really take less of time as the employees enter their declarations and their CTC reimbursement through an employee self-service portal. The employee self-service portal is directly connected to the cloud platform application. So there is no manual entry of you uploading the declaration data or towards the submission of the year-end proofs. So everything is done online. It's a system-driven process, and there is no manual intervention. So when this happens, your year-end process also takes very less time with a smooth function of your the year-end activities. The last part I wanted to talk about is how are you storing your payroll data? As we looked at those slides, this is one of the most critical questions you can ask yourself. Using a cloud-based software ensures that not only your data is accessible at time, it also is the safest place it could be. This is one of the biggest hurdle companies have been adopting cloud-based payroll software. So what I wanted to leave you with this particular slide is your payroll has sensitive employee information. So as we discussed on our earlier slides, whenever you talk about cloud, is basically 2 things. One is having your data secured, and the second thing is it should be very much accessible for you to open up and take up any reports. So if you are maintaining it on your doing it on your Excel or having it doing on your software, which is a on-premises software, then you have a lot of chances of your data getting destroyed or getting there could be a lot of viruses attacks on your application as well. So moving next on our agenda, we spoke about if you are a company who is currently looking for a comprehensive payroll system on a general platform. Basically, first thing what you need to think about is the domain expertise. So if you are going to get a payroll application from one of the vendors, on the first level you'll have to check if the vendor for whom you're purchasing the application, how much customers he has, how many employees he has, and what type of domain expert the company has. So is the company in the payroll business, or are they other companies, they are focusing the core workers payroll, or they have other services as well. If the company has other services and other products available, then the payroll part would not be the best part available, because obviously the company is into other products as well. So when you look at towards getting a payroll for your company, first thing what you have to keep in mind is to go for a company which has strong domain expertise, whose core business is only to do payroll and nothing else, and wherein you have both the options available. If you're a company, you want to outsource a payroll, then the vendor should have an expertise in handling your payroll as well. And if you want to get a software which is on cloud, you should have that option available. Now, second important thing what you have to look at from a cloud platform level is to have full disaster recovery program. So if the vendor who is giving you an application, you'll have to check if he is using a data center rented from a third party company like Amazon or anything else outside, or is he having his own data center. We find a lot of companies outside who offer cloud payroll solutions. They do not have their own data center, rather they rent data centers from outside. So whenever there is a technical support needed, then the time to bring back the data to you, it takes a long time. Third part I wanted to mention is you should be able to do all the aspects of payroll online. Basically, there should be a software where you can do payroll, and there are a lot of submodules which is attached to payroll, like reimbursement, arrears, bonus. There is the leave module, there is the attendance module. All of these things should be integrated with the payroll, meaning that it should be one product, one solution, which also has an online employee self-service portal. So today we find companies who are leveraging their employees to work from home, work from client's place, work from different locations in India or outside India. So for these employees, if they want to check their pay slip and tax slip and declare the investment, if they do not have an online employee self-service portal, which we find some of the on-premises software do not provide those options, you'll have to go for a cloud solution. So if you have employees who are working outside or working from home or working from different locations, then it becomes very critical for you to go for an online employee self-service portal. The fifth aspect is what level of analysis you need. Do you need to analyze your payroll cost across different departments in the business? Do you also need to assign payroll costs to different cost centers within the business? If so, ensure that any payroll software you consider can handle the level of analysis you require and can produce reports based on this. So this is one of the key important aspects you'll have to look is the analysis. So the payroll system should be able to leverage and give you a lot of analytic data, so that particular data allows you to make proper decision for your company. The sixth aspect I wanted to highlight is the legislations. Aside from the standard payroll law, are there any other piece of legislation that the company you would be doing payroll for need to comply with? If so, it is important to factor this into your software package before you consider a legal compliant. One example of legislation that could be catered by a payroll package would be construction worker pension scheme. So these are all some of the schemes wherein you really require an online software which keeps upgrading the legislations whenever the legislation happens in India. The seventh important aspect what you'll have to look at is the integration. Is there a package which could integrate with your current ERP? Do you need to import information to your payroll software from spreadsheets or from another piece of a software? Do you need to integrate with a clock or a biometric system? These are all the areas for consideration when you have to choose for a payroll package. I would want to ask the audience, check with your supplier to see what level of integration your application is available with your current provider. Last but not the least is, do you need to go mobile? If you need to process your payroll from various locations, or would like to have access on the move from mobile device or a cloud payroll software, is there one with your current vendor? So if there isn't available and you are a person who travels and you need payroll information on time, then probably cloud payroll is the only solution which would really help you. So moving next, what we're going to look at is, we have discussed a lot of challenges. We have discussed the advantages of having a cloud payroll system and the benefits, all those aspects. And next important key element you will have to look at is the functionality of the payroll software. So basically, there should be a data master configuration. The data master configuration should be either done through bulkly, or it can be done through individually. The payroll application should have a proper approval settings. For example, if you are a team of 3 people who are processing the payroll, that is level 1, level 2 and level 3, then the payroll system should give access to each level. So there should also be a restriction of data. There should be an input wizard simulation process, wherein you don't have to search with the application where to go. Basically, the input wizard helps you to simulate the process of the data master data configuration. It also should have an exclusive employee statutory groups, where an example there should be a group for PF, ESI, LWF. So all of the statutory groups should be created, and it should have a lot of inbuilt formulas which is very much user friendly, and you should be able to edit those as well. Then the second functionality what is required is the personal management. The personal management is a kind of a HRIS, where payroll itself, you store a lot of employee pay details, but it should also give you a lot of demographic data. It should be able to give you employee reporting structure, who reports to who, and it should give the overall data of the employee history, right from the time he joins your company, what designation he had, what are all the designation, has there been a change. Then the third aspect is the payroll management itself. So the application should have user defined earnings and deductions, and this is you should be able to take those earnings and deductions in no time. So it should all be user friendly, and you should be able to easily import any type of earning what a company would incorporate either in the middle of the year or the end of the financial year. So you should be able to do that yourself. Another important function what you require is the application itself should have an extensive formula builder. Besides having the standard formulas, it should also have an extensive builder, wherein using the logic you should be able to create a lot of formulas yourself. And it should also have a dedicated bonus and arrear module, wherein the bonus and arrear, it speaks to the payroll on the frequent intervals. So if there is a bonus given at the month of June and it was processed in the month of April itself, so the bonus should calculate on its own. There should also be an arrear or a loan module where you would be able to pay arrears to your employees, and also loan to any employee with interest, without interest, or a lot of aspects. Fourth important function is the statutory management. So we find that there are a lot of legal laws which keeps changing in India, state to state, on every levels. So the application should support the configuring of statutory groups. You should have the option of creating numerous groups within the statutory item. It should also project the income tax with the actual deductions. Some of the PF group statutory management can be the PF, ESI, LWF. And next is the reports. So it should have wide range of built-in reports, and also it should also give you standard reports and also customized report at any given point. Here is the query builder, which I think I'm going to keep it as a surprise and show you at the demo session. It should also give you customized reports for a company with no cost, because the reason why company go for cloud payroll is to minimize cost. So custom reports, MIS, should be available for you at any time. Then the last aspect is the interface aspect, where all the entries towards the payroll system should be bulk, should be easy to use. It should not be a complicated system. It should just work for you. In obviously the time taken to process payroll is lengthy on an on-premises software, but the interface should be user friendly. It should adapt to a lot of integration softwares available, like the biometric, the attendant devices, like your ERPs or any HRIS application you have. It should interact with all of them at all levels. So basically we talked about the query builder, and query builder is something which you might not find with all of the products available in the market, but the query builder is kind of a report builder which is there with your payroll itself. It allows you to create reports specifying the business rules, design formats, filters. If you are a person from the managing level and you want certain reports in certain formats, the application, it should be very simple. You should just put in the rows and columns from the master data, and you should get the report at any given point. So this is basically the query builder, which allows you to take reports from your payroll system at any given point. And these reports, when you are exporting, it should give you in a lot of formats. So it should be an Excel report, it can be a PDF, Word, HTML, etc. So these are all some of the things which I feel it's very important for the industry to keep themselves updated when they are approaching for a cloud-based application.
The audience, we hope this webinar was a useful one to each one of you. We would like to thank you once again for making this knowledge sharing initiative of ADP effective and useful. We welcome your feedback. Please feel free to write to us in case of any questions. Our upcoming webinars on the payroll and statutory series would be updated on our website adp.in/webinar section. So please do join us to make these knowledge sharing initiatives from ADP useful. We would also share the details of the upcoming webinars in our emailer shortly. Please keep visiting our ADP webinar section to get the latest videos and latest updates on the webinars. Thank you so much, audience, for your patient listening.
Thank you so much, audience.